If you know me, you know that I love anything from the 80s. And once again, today I'm fulfilling that dream. (1988) Honda Accord LXi hatchback. This marks the third generation of Accord, which went from 1986 to 1989. This one is sitting in Bordeaux red, which I think looks beautiful in the sunlight like today. The third gen Accord was known for its distinctive, sleek styling, especially with its pop-up headlights, which I love.
Headlights go up, headlights go down, headlights go up, headlights go down.
This is a 1988 Accord LXi. The LXi trim added fuel injection which bumped power to 120 horsepower, and it also has power windows. This was back when car designs were simple but still beautiful. I love the rear wiper on the window because it's just something not a lot of people like, but I do. And trunk space for these Accords was 19 cubic feet. The interior of the third gen Accord is strangely satisfying. I really like it. Everything is just symmetrical, and all the buttons, they all click really nice, and it's really satisfying. They remind me of like some old hi-fi boombox or whatever. But looking at the steering wheel, it's a 4-spoke steering wheel, not leather wrapped of course, but there's no airbag. But you really realize how thin and just how old this car is from how thin the steering wheel is. Also, the gauges are pretty easy to read. They're a little bit small, but I do like them. It's typical 80s Honda, or just any 80s car as a matter of fact. I also like this little tray in the middle. There's not much storage in this car, which is something interesting. You do have 2 little pockets on the door panels, and then you also just don't have any cup holders. There's a little bit of an ashtray here, but that's it. There's no center console. It's just the handbrake, and that's it. But in the middle, the climate controls, like I said, they remind me of an old hi-fi boombox or audio machine. And then you have the headlight controls right next to that. One quirk about these 80s Hondas and Acuras is that they never came with air conditioning from the factory. It was either a dealer option or port installed, which was something weird. This one does have an aftermarket radio in it, but it is a single DIN, and the OEM radio had a cassette player and all that stuff that 80s cars had. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the seats. They're really comfortable, I'm surprised, and they're actually pretty supportive. I mean, the Accord was always praised to be one of the more sportier vehicles in its segment, even back then and now, but I'm really impressed with how I fit in this car. You really realize how small it is, just like you can touch the other side by reaching barely, but also it feels big in here. They just like the way how the dash is designed, everything feels nice and large. This is a 2-liter single overhead cam 4-cylinder, also known as the A20A3. It makes 120 horsepower and 122 pound-feet of torque, which only goes through the front wheels, and a 4-speed automatic, but a 5-speed manual was standard. Fuel economy for these was 21 city and 27 highway, but I'm pretty sure you could get more than that.
It's funny, I feel dwarfed by these big sedans.
I know, but not even. Like I'm saying, if a Nissan Versa came by, you'd feel small.
Yeah, it's funny.
I mean, you can just floor it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, there's that noise. It feels just, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels happy doing this. Give it a bit of a...
gun it.
Oh my God. I'm surprised it chirped the wheels like that. I feel like I'm one with the car. Like this. Wow. Like it feels like it's glued to the road. I did have to get used to the brakes.
Yeah.
Because that Volvo, the brakes are like bit,
yeah.
touchy.
That's where you sort of see the difference between, you know, an older car.
Yeah.
They don't have the braking power of these new cars.
No, they don't.
sounds great.
It does sound good.
Great sounding four-cylinder.
Let's see here. Look at that. Wow. It's crazy. It felt like it was just like on rails.
I really enjoyed driving this little car. It does roll a little bit around corners, but it gives you a sense of control. It never felt like it was gonna let loose, even with its skinny tires. Power was okay. It was eager to rev, especially because it was a Honda. But the transmission is more tuned for city and fuel economy. But its transmission is really more suited for city driving and fuel economy. What I love is that this thing really still drives like a new car, which was great. The variable steering was really noticeable. It's super light in town and in parking lots, but once you pick up speed and go around corners and on the highway, it feels sturdy like nothing else. If this car was a 5-speed manual Accord, I would have a hell of a time. But this car was super fun too. Back in '89, the MSRP for a brand new Honda Accord LXi was $15,140, but now you could probably find one in decent shape from anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. $10,000 is probably the maximum limit.